Hello everyone, this is Courtney with Cuss Baby Tarot, and this is a pick a card reading for messages from your spirit guides that you need to hear now. So, if you've never done a pick a card reading before, it's very simple. Take a moment, look at the cards, you can look at the associated crystals that we have with them, and just pick whichever one you're drawn to. If you're drawn to more than one, feel free to watch more than one reading. If you're not drawn to any, could be there's not a message for you. This is a general reading, so whichever pile you pick, I will encourage you to take what resonates and leave what does not. So, for pile number 1, we have the bear and the lapis lazuli. We have the gazelle for pile number 2 with rose quartz. And for pile number 3, we have the fox and amethyst. So go ahead, take a moment, figure out which pile you are feeling connected to, and when you're ready, go ahead and forward to that section of the video. Hello, pile number 1, you have chosen the bear from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and the lapis lazuli. Say that 5 times fast. So, let's see what your guides have to say to you, something that you need to hear right now. We're going to take a look at what the book says about the bear card. The bear represents waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. When in balance, there's inner strength and a yearning to grow. When out of balance, there's withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness. To bring into balance, you need movement and exercise. So pile number 1, I'm sensing that right now we are out of balance. I am sensing that there is a heaviness. There is a feeling of being stuck, a feeling of coming up against a wall, not really accomplishing much, almost like just spinning your wheels. I'm also hearing that some of this has to do with, I see you in your cave. You're in your cave, you're cozy, you're warm, you're safe. And I feel like coming out of that cave and emerging into the sunlight, you know how much effort that's going to take, and you know how much you're going to have to exert effort, is what I'm hearing. And that's scary. And not because you can't do it. I mean, the bear is a strong, powerful creature. They are adaptable and fiercely protective of those that they love. And pile number 1, I get the sense that being the bear somewhat frightens you. You know you have all these qualities and you know you have all of these attributes, but you also know with great power comes great responsibility, and maybe you feel like you're just not ready for that yet, which is understandable. But as it said, and as your guides want you to know, it's time. You've hung out in the cave long enough. You've hibernated long enough. You've spent enough time alone. It is time for you to step out and for you to begin experiencing what you were created to be. To step into your purpose and to walk out the divine's plan for your life. And yes, it is going to be a rocky road. It goes up and it goes down. But Spirit is reminding you that nothing happens to you. It always happens for you. So even the things that feel tough or unfair or too challenging, there will be lessons, invaluable lessons is what I'm hearing. There will be invaluable lessons even in that pain, even in that struggle. And that the growth that will take place when you come out of that cave will be exponential. You will go from where you are right now feeling burdened and possibly even depressed and no energy, just, I can feel it. It's very, very heavy. And as somebody who has struggled with, mental health issues my entire teen and adult life, I get that feeling of heaviness, that not wanting to get up out of bed, the only having energy to do the bare minimum, no pun intended. But yes, Spirit is calling you. Spirit is outside of that cave saying, come enjoy the sunshine, smell the fresh air. Look at all the beauty around you that there is to explore. I think that's beautiful. And I think that if you pick this pile, then you understand that it's about that time for you to step out and to do that. Like, you're feeling called. I can tell you're feeling called. All right. So I always shuffle ahead of time just because it saves time. I know some people really like to see the shuffling done on camera. It's too much. It makes my videos too long, and it takes forever to upload. So we do what we can around here to save time. We want to be efficient. All right, so let's take a look. I asked your guides and Spirit, what is the situation that they want to discuss with you today? What is their advice and what is the possible outcome? So let's see. The situation they want to discuss with you, yes. Queen of Wands in reverse. And Queen of Wands in reverse is definitely a card with potential to make things happen, but lacking motion, lacking momentum. It's a energy of wanting to accomplish things, but not really taking action to do them. And a lot of this can do with, and I've said this in other videos with this particular card, the Queen of Wands in reverse can be kind of like a mean girl's energy, or mean person's energy. It's just, I don't feel like, especially with that bear energy, that's your personality at all. I feel like it's more of an internal conflict, an internal self-doubt, negative self-talk, almost like you talk yourself out of doing what you know you're capable of. And that's understandable given the lack of energy and the lack of motivation that you've been feeling. But Spirit wants you to know that they see that, and they want you to acknowledge what's happening so that you can start moving forward and you can start healing. And that is right in line with the advice cards here with the Three of Swords. You've been hurt. You've been betrayed. You've experienced loss. And it very well could be for some of you that's why you're in this energy of the bear and the Queen of Wands. Maybe some of you are actually recovering from a breakup or from the loss of a loved one. I mean, goodness knows, at the time that I'm filming this, we are in 2021, and we have all, as a collective, just been through it. So I can't imagine the possibilities of what type of loss you've experienced. It's just, I can't even imagine. It could be anything. And I feel like with this Four of Cups energy, along with the Three of Swords, I feel like you've lost faith in spirit. I feel like your mind has been so preoccupied with the loss and with the struggle that a part of you has forgotten. And I say a part of you because part of you is here right now. There's a part of you that led you to watch this. So, but there is a part of you that has forgotten where your help comes from, where rejuvenation comes from. You have all that you need, and then some. But we've got to get out of our heads. And I know that's easier said than done, but it can be done. And, your guides, the message to you today is that they want to help you do that. They are asking you to surrender. Surrender to spirit. Surrender to your higher self. And allow the fog and the clouds to be lifted. Again, going back to this bear in the cave, there's beauty and there's sunlight and nature and so much. And you see how these cards are so different with these backgrounds, with the clouds and the darkness, and then this is the sun breaking through, because spirit has come down to offer you refreshment, to offer you restoration, to offer to fill you up more than you could ever do for yourself. But you have to surrender. You can't ignore your spiritual self and expect everything in your physical world to be okay. But I know, and I hear that loud and clear, Spirit. Yes, in times of loss and depression and sadness, the thing that we should be running to is usually the thing we run from first. Been there, done that. Because some of us feel like we've already experienced so much loss. If I surrender to this and this doesn't work, or this doesn't help, or this doesn't put me back on the path, it's just one, that's the ultimate disappointment. If you feel disappointed by spirit, your creator, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, if you feel let down, disappointed, or forgotten by that, then what else? What else? You have nothing else to lose. So I think we protect ourselves sometimes by withdrawing. Sometimes it feels safer to do nothing. But if you do nothing, nothing happens, good or bad. And Spirit wants you to know that if you start moving again, if you start walking again, is what I'm hearing. And that goes back to the bear with the exercise. You start walking again. If you start getting outside again, come out of your cave. Spirit says, I'm here for you. I promise I'm here for you. I never went anywhere. I'm just waiting for you to look up and see me. I'm just waiting for you to open your arms and embrace me, because I have more than you could possibly need. But I need you to work with me. I need you to believe that I love you and that I want the best for you. Oh, bear. Oh, pile one. I'm sorry that you've been going through such a hard time. I really am. I sincerely feel for you. But I think that if you listen to the advice here today and just allow your mindset to gradually come out of that cave, I think that you're going to be on a road to recovery. And, well, I know you're going to be on a road to recovery, because Spirit's already said it. So looking at, the possible outcome, we have this Four of Pentacles. And Four of Pentacles, of course, can speak to obtaining finances or resources and then holding them, guarding them close to your chest. And in some situations, that can be interpreted as being, in some situations, that can be interpreted as being greedy. But I think Spirit's message to you is if you come out and if you trust us and you start moving again, that nobody's going to come along and take anything from you again. You've learned that lesson. You know what to give your energy to and what not to give your energy to. You know now that not everybody has your best intentions at heart. You know now that sometimes we do things for others and we expect things in return, or we put conditions upon it, and when we set expectations on outcomes, that's how we end up hurt. That's how we end up disappointed. But Spirit is saying, if you trust us, you know, you're going to hold on to anything that it is that you receive. It's yours. You don't have to be worried about losing it again. Okay? So I'm going to get some advice cards from the Divine Energy Oracle, and this is the Gilded Tarot. If anybody's interested, and I'll make notes below. I'm not affiliated. I don't get any kind of incentives or anything, but if I enjoy them, then somebody else might too. So I won't be linking them, but I will list them. And I always encourage people, get them where you can get them. A lot of times online stores and things like that are the easiest thing, or the least expensive thing. But if you can afford it and if you're okay with it, I encourage people to go to the publisher or to the creator's site, and then support local artists, support small business, and cut out the middleman, if you will. All right, Spirit. Oh, okay. So we have engage higher reason. A little difficulty here. Let's move this. Let's move this over here a little bit. Do what you love. Yes, 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 yes. And lastly, admit your vulnerabilities. Engage higher reason. Yes, we have to get out of this low vibrational mindset. We have to stop thinking about what we can see with our eyes and sense with all of our senses, and remember that there are higher reasons for everything that has happened and everything that will happen. And even if we don't understand it, and it really freaking sucks sometimes because it hurts and it's hard. I've been through so many of those moments, and I'll tell you what, every single time I feel exactly the same way. But we come out of it the other end, and after some time has passed, we realize, oh, that's why that had to happen. Okay, I didn't like it at the time, but I get it now. Do what you love. The bear in the cave, all cozy and warm and safe, isn't really having much fun. The bear is focused solely on survival and protecting itself. But your guides want you to know that you need to start doing what you love again. Whether that was a hobby that brought you joy, or a job that you did, or it could be something as simple as taking a nice hot bubble bath. If that's what you used to love, do that. Feel good. Do things that feel good just for the sake of feeling good. There's no reason, not everything has to be productive. Not everything has to lead to some kind of big epiphany. Sometimes you just need a freaking bubble bath, or, a glass of wine if that's your thing, or, whatever. Do what you love for the sake of doing it, because the more you take care of yourself and the more you love on yourself, the more you're going to see how much spirit loves you and how much your spiritual team loves you, because they will inspire you to take better care of yourself, and you'll feel supported in that. And lastly, admit your vulnerabilities. The bear is big and strong and tough and perfectly capable of handling anything that's thrown at them. And maybe, not maybe, definitely, the message here is nobody does it alone. You're not perfect. You're not bulletproof. Accept that about yourself. Accept that there are going to be moments in life where you are vulnerable, and it helps you to connect with someone or something. And then there are going to be times when you're vulnerable and someone may take advantage, or someone may, misinterpret that as weakness, but Spirit wants you to know that being vulnerable is the strongest thing that anybody can do, because you're putting yourself out there, and that is scary as hell. But by admitting our vulnerabilities, we are admitting that we are human and we are flawed and we are doing the best we can. And that makes us, that helps us to be authentic. That helps us to remove any masks or any facades that we hold up for others, because that shit is exhausting. Stop it. Just be you. Admit that you have vulnerabilities. And I'm hearing some of you need to admit that you have unhealthy habits, whether that's addiction, in any form. Could be gambling, sex, drugs, alcohol, shopping. I mean, come on, we can be addicted to anything. But I feel like some of you need to admit you may have an issue. You do have an issue. And it's time to get some help, because sitting in the cave, abusing yourself, trying to mask your pain is not the answer. Nobody wins. Nothing gets better. There's no movement. And, that goes back to this Queen of Wands in reverse energy. Not doing, self-hatred, not realizing your own personal power. But the good news is that Spirit sees you, Spirit hears you, your guides are always with you, and they're just waiting for you to come to them and say, help me, and then be willing to walk that out. And if you do, I promise things will get better. If anybody is experiencing mental health issues, if you've contemplated hurting yourself, if you've contemplated ending it all, I need you to contact somebody immediately. Your guides need you to reach out, whether it's calling an 800 number or getting on a website, going to your doctor, reaching out to someone that you trust. If you're experiencing the kind of heaviness and sadness that energetically I am sensing right now, some of you could be in a very dark place, and there are resources out there that will help you. And it may feel like it's helpless. It may feel like this is never ending and it's all consuming. I promise you it is not. As someone who has been in the dark and been in the cave, I can promise you it does get better, and it will get better, because as Maya Angelou said, every storm eventually runs out of rain. You just got to weather the storm, babies. I just love you so much. I just want to put my arms around you and give you so many hugs and kisses and tell you everything's going to be okay. And I hope that you believe that, because it will. And that's all I have for you, Pile 1. I wish you nothing but the best. And I would love to hear back from some of you how this resonates. as they say on the YouTube, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And I am going to keep coming at you with content as quickly as possible. We'll do this together, okay? All right. Love you, and thank you so much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night. Until next time. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2. You have chosen the Gazelle from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and the Rose Quartz. So let's take a look at what your guides want you to know now. And let's see what the book says about the Gazelle. Heightened awareness and ability, vulnerable. The Gazelle represents supreme grace with every move, this awe-inspiring beauty amidst sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant. And this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. When in balance, there's grace, perceptive, and artistic. When out of balance, food allergies, insomnia, racing mind. And to bring into balance, yin yoga, a cozy home, and good food. Okay, so Spirit, what does Pile 2's guides want them to know right now? Give me just a sec. Oh, you busy bee. I know this is the Gazelle, but that's what I saw. I just saw this busy bee. This energy is just all over the place. Just zip, 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 zip. So much to get done, so much to accomplish. Always on the, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So we got to stay one step ahead of everything. Gazelles are so graceful and fast and just fascinating creatures, I think. I mean, if you've ever watched some kind of a nature show, then you know that they bounce and they zip and they zag, and they are very good at getting away from things that could harm them. And I feel like Pile 2, your energy, of course, is very similar to this in the sense that I'm hearing for some of you, it feels like if you stay busy, if you stay running, if you stay active, then none of the bad stuff can catch you. So it's awesome that you put so much energy into keeping yourself safe. We all should. But I feel like we've tipped the scales a little bit and gone a little too much with the hypervigilant. And I'm sensing that this is okay. So I'm sensing that this is because of anxiety. This is because of, for some of you, bordering on paranoia. Now, some of you watching Pile 2, you may have reason for this. I'm hearing that some gazelles have encountered entirely too many lionesses in their life. And I'm hearing now all cats are scary, which is a little funny metaphor, but what you've been through is not funny. Some of you have really been attacked. You've really been, even to the point, some of you may have even been assaulted. And I apologize if that triggers you. That's not my intention. But Spirit wants to talk about it, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be obedient, and I'm just going to tell you what I get. Yeah, some of you, like, literally have run for your lives. And I'm really, that shouldn't happen to anybody. Okay, so the reason that Spirit is bringing this up for some of you is because You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to do that anymore. Now, if you are somebody who has experienced this type of situation, this type of trauma, and you are currently going through something that could be potentially harmful to you, this is not a message to not pay attention. This is not a message to let down your guard completely. Don't take it that way. But for those of you that this is behind you, but this is, some of you, it's in your past, but it is affecting your present. It's like you were, there's, all of our trauma in the past always comes back and it manifests itself in one way or another. And in pile 2, it manifested in this mistrust, this distrust of anything that even could even potentially be harmful, like jumping at small noises and being suspicious of everybody you meet and not really trusting anybody. And I just heard it's time to enjoy the pasture. I see in my mind's eye the gazelle surrounded by other animals with other energies, and they're all just out there together enjoying a little snack, having a meal, nourishing themselves, drinking the water. Nobody's running, nobody's hiding, because it's a safe space. And I'm hearing safety in numbers. Some of you may have self-isolated out of fear, distrust, whatever the reason is. Some of you are going through life alone intentionally. Now, you could be married, you could have kids, but that doesn't mean that you're not alone. To self-isolate can very simply be to take a piece of yourself and lock it away so deeply that nobody else has access to it. Spirit wants you to remember that you are never alone, and there is nowhere that you can put this pain, that they can't see it, and that they can't remove it, and they can't heal you from it. If it exists, Spirit knows exactly what to do with it, but it does require your cooperation. As in the description of the card in the book, sit down, catch your breath. I'm hearing some of you will benefit from breathing exercises. We all benefit from breathing exercises. None of us breathe correctly. But especially you, pile 2, because I literally feel out of breath. Like, I literally feel like I cannot catch my breath right now. It's like this way of living is exhausting. It's this flight or fight, this adrenaline, this constant anxiety. It is exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting. And Spirit wants you to know your guides are there with you for anything that you need from them. In those moments of anxiety, in those moments of fear, talk to them. They are there for you. Tell them what you need. Tell them, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. How can I feel safe? And then just allow yourself to be led to the solution. And very clearly, I just heard, for some of you, that is seeking professional help and therapy to really get into that trauma that puts you in this survival energy. Because I understand being cautious of anything that reminds us of something that hurt us. And being cautious is one thing, but this is a whole other level, pile 2. Some of you folks just, Everybody you look at is a potential threat, and that's no way to live. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it was just brought to my mind that some of this isn't past trauma. Some of this is what the world's going through right now. When I'm recording this, these are timeless readings, but at the time of this recording, it's 2021. We are in the middle of the second wave of this pandemic. And you know what? It can be a little, it's scary out there at times. I get it. There's the worry that you'll get sick. There's the worry that you'll give it to somebody that you care about. There's the worry that you'll lose somebody, and some of you may have already lost somebody. And this is your way of protecting yourself, is just by isolating. I'm hearing agoraphobia, the fear of leaving your home, the fear of going outside is a very real possibility if we don't change this energy. And by we, I mean, of course, you and your spiritual team, your guides, your guardians, your ancestors, and of course, source, universe, spirit, whatever you choose to call it, God. It's up to you. All right. Whew. Man, when I set out to do these readings today, I had no idea how heavy it was going to get, because pile 1 was very heavy too. But that makes sense with everything that we're all going through, that the collective would need to hear these types of messages. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. I asked Spirit to provide us with the situation, more information on the situation they want to talk about, along with their advice and the possible outcome should that advice be followed. And I always shuffle beforehand. And it's like I said it in pile 1. Where did I put these cards? Hang on a second. Sorry about that. I put the book down on top of the cards that I had already picked. Anyway, like I was saying, I shuffle beforehand because I'm long-winded to begin with. You do not need me to add, I apologize. Do not need me to add more to this video as far as length. And plus, the longer my videos are, the longer it takes to upload. It's a whole thing, guys. It really is. This takes some effort and some energy, so forgive me if I skip that step. I know a lot of people like to watch the shuffling happen on camera, but as of right now, you're not going to get that from me. So I hope you'll forgive me, and let's just keep rolling. All right, so shake some of that off. Man, that's a heavy energy. Okay, so Ace of Cups in reverse for the situation they want to talk about. 6 of Wands, 7 of Wands for advice, and 5 of Cups in reverse for possible outcome if you listen to the advice. And wow, okay, yep. All right. So what they want to talk to you about, the message that they have for you is that pile 2 is closed off to the possibility of new connection. It's like nothing, there's no space is what I'm hearing. Okay, there's no space for any new connections, any friendships, any relationships, because there's nothing in the cup. Pile 2, you've not been filling your cup. You've been so busy running and protecting yourself and trying to survive that, and I say this with love, you've neglected yourself. You've neglected what you need. You've neglected what fills up your emotional cup. You know, when the emotional cup is full, it's overflowing. Look at that. And it's got these runes with these intuitive messages and communication with spirit and communication with the higher realms. And it's just it's a blocked, distorted energy right now that you're in. And it's very similar to number one. If pile number two, if this is connecting with you, the only difference between you and pile one is that pile one isn't ripping and running. Pile one is sitting still. But yeah, both of you. There's just so much anxiety around connections with other people, connections with spirit, connections with your team, that you're probably feeling a little empty. And Spirit says, we see that. Spirit says, we know. We know that your cup is empty. We know that you don't have anything else to give. We know that you are protecting everything that you have left with everything you've got in you. But your guides want you to know, hey, we can help you with this. I'm hearing self-care is so important. Especially for the divine feminine, that typically is the one that does all the ripping and the running, with the kids and the groceries and the meetings and the appointments and all of that stuff. That is typically something that a divine feminine will pick up and run with. There is divine masculine that will do that. It's just, it just is what it is. And especially, with kids going back to school, and different states have different laws, and there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unknowns. And being the one that carries all of that burden and that emotional labor, because that's what it is. It's emotional labor. It takes energy and effort to call doctors and set appointments and to follow up and to fill out forms and to make sure that there's enough food in the house. And I know, I've been there, done that. It's a lot. And some of you are doing this on your own. You talk about being exhausted. I can imagine. Some of you are on your own doing this. And I specifically just felt very strongly that not everybody, but there are some who have people that want to help them. But again, being so afraid of everybody, it's like pile two, you're just like, nope, I got this. I'm going to do everything on my own. If I take care of it myself, then it'll be done right. And I don't have to interact with the people, because people are being very people-y right now. Like, I get it. But by trying to do everything yourself and by not allowing anyone, including spirit, to help you, what are you going to do when the cup runs out? How are you going to take care of anybody? You got to take care of yourself. You can't take care of others if you don't take care of yourself first. That's just how, that's math. You can't pour out of an empty cup. And I guarantee you there are people that need you. And this is for the feminine and for the masculine. There are people that need you. They need you to take care of yourself, because if they don't have you, what do they have? Especially the little ones. They're really dependent on the big kids right now. I say big kids because, come on, let's be honest. Do we ever really become what we thought? When you remember when you were a kid and you met somebody who was like in their 30s and you're like, wow, they got their stuff together. I want to be like them when I grow up. And now, if you're in your 30s or older, you're like, yeah, that person didn't have any idea what was going on either. And, each generation has their own struggles, but we're going through a historical moment. Some have even, said an extinction event, but that's not, I don't agree to that, but I can understand how it would feel that way to some. So, okay, that's what Spirit, what your guides wanted to talk to you about. So here's the advice. We've got this 6 of Wands and this 7 of Wands. Let's see. Move these over here. My flash is on the other side. I don't want that glare on there. Okay. Okay. So, pile 2. The energy in this particular Six of Wands, of course, Six of Wands, traditionally it's, this hero coming back and everybody's like, yay, look, he's back. This deck is different in the symbolism. And I feel like instead of the hero coming home, the hero is going out. The hero is going to face the battle to confront the enemy. And if you look, go away, flash. The energy in this person is not one of a weakling. This is not somebody who is scared. This is somebody with that face, like they are determined, absolutely determined. And if you see, they've got an entire village behind them seeing them off. And that's, think of that as your spiritual team. Think of that as your guides and your guardians and your ancestors and spirit itself behind you, cheering for you, knowing that you're going to be successful. There goes our hero. It could also, the people in the back could also represent your friends or your family who are like, you are my hero. You've done so much. You've kept me safe. And I just appreciate you so much. Don't hide anymore. Don't run anymore. You are strong enough to face whatever is in front of you. And not just for yourself, but for the people that depend on you. This card in this deck always cracks me up. Not because the energy is funny, just because the illustration is just, it's a lot. Seven of Wands, this is someone defending themselves, obviously. Defending their family, defending, what is theirs and themselves. And in this one, you see it's depicted, you've got these little gremlins that are just like all over the place. Like, they remind me of like big mosquitoes, like big ass mosquitoes in the summertime when you're outside just trying to mind your business. And these damn mosquitoes come around and, eat you alive or try to. It's just a little itty bitty bite. Like, these are just little itty bitty issues. But daggone, when there's a lot of them, it's like, it's just as bad as one really big thing happening. And I really feel like that's okay. I hear that, Spirit. Thank you. So yes, just like the mosquitoes and these little gremlins here, you've been dealing with not necessarily 1 or 2 or 3 really big issues. It's the little things over and over again, just pick. And just when you think that you figured something out, here comes something else. And again, it's not a huge thing, but it's like, oh, okay. Little Johnny forgot his daggone book bag. Now we got to go back, and you get the book bag, and then you go to the school and you drop them off, and then you get a phone call and somebody's like, hey, I need you to stop by the store because, we're out of milk. And you're like, okay, fine. I'll stop by the store and I'll get the milk. And then you get the milk, and on the way home, you've noticed that the pressure in your tires is low. Now, daggone it. Now you got to stop by the, gas station, get some air in your tires. It's just life, just the culmination of all the little petty things can really wear us down. And I think that's the message from Spirit, is that I think you need to take a deep breath and see things for what they are. It's not that everything in the world is scary. It's not that you can't trust people. It's not, you're not running from lions. You're running from lion cubs. And it would take a whole lot of lion cubs to take down an adult human. But it can happen. It's not likely. It could happen. But what Spirit's saying is that you don't have to be worried. You don't have to avoid the inconveniences and avoid the issues and avoid the connections. Because, I mean, basically you're a badass. Look at you in this Six of Wands energy, riding out to face the enemy. I mean, and the contrast between, you know, this gazelle that is a runner and the Six of Wands that faces their problems head on. This is how we heal. We cannot pretend that there's nothing wrong. We can't practice emotional avoidance and call it positivity. We have to acknowledge what's going on with us. We have to face it head on. And then that gives us the opportunity to defeat it and never have to deal with it again. But if we keep running from it, there's just going to be another one around the corner. Another inconvenience, another frustration, another painful experience, another heartbreak, another betrayal. You know? But if we face our troubles head on, we defeat them. You know, sorry, I'm just looking for words. I have the message in my mind. I just got to figure out the words. So yeah, if, I was really scared of roller coasters. I still don't like heights, and I still get nervous about roller coasters. But, I mean, I was petrified. And then we'd go to amusement parks, and I was like always the kid that nobody wanted to be stuck with because somebody had to stay with me because I wasn't going to ride the rides. It's scary. I don't want to do it. And because of that, like I said, I mean, felt a little left out at times or whatever. My point is, finally, I got up the courage to ride one. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was exhilarating. Was it scary? Absolutely. But after I rode a couple of roller coasters, I realized I don't have to be afraid of them anymore. There's going to be things that could happen, and there's going to be things that do happen that are completely out of our control. What are you going to do? But when we know our enemy, when we know our what's coming up against us, we can face it head on. And that's Spirit's message for you today. You need to start facing this stuff head on, and you quit running from it and start healing. All right, possible outcome. I know I've been long-winded. Thank you if you've stuck with me this long. Spirit just had a lot to say to you, pile two. So 5 of Cups, you know, that's like this card of loss and walking away from a situation that was painful or whatever. 5 of Cups is a painful card, you know. You think everything's okay, and then boom. But the good news is it came up in reverse. Spirit wants you to know that if you confront these things head on, that those feelings of loss, those feelings of betrayal, all of that negative thought process will heal itself, and it will start to dissipate. And you'll step out into the light again. You'll see the light again. And I'm already feeling better just holding this card because, again, that energy, totally out of breath. This energy, completely exhausted. This one and this one, I'm gonna spray some bug spray. I'll get rid of these damn mosquitoes because I'm tired of them. They're pissing me off. We'll get rid of those daggone things. We're gonna stop letting little minor things have big influences on us. We're just gonna keep it going so that we can start healing and we can start gaining control back of our emotions. And we're going to decide how we feel from now on. We're not going to let our circumstances define how we feel. So let's get some 3 advice cards very quickly. I know I'm at 30 minutes. It's not my intention. But, you know, it is what it is. Spirit sometimes just has a lot to say. And sometimes it takes me a while to figure out how to articulate it. I won't blame it on Spirit. I swear, I wish I was kind of like in the Matrix. You know how they just, well, not, well, we kind of are, but that's a conversation for another day. But you know what I'm saying, where they just like plugged in and then they could be downloaded and like now they know how to fight Kung Fu style. And now they know other languages and now they know the maps. And I need that in my life. Because it has to go, you know, everything has to go through my neurodivergent brain. Oh, thank you. Reach for the stars. Okay. Okay, we have 2 more, please. This one, okay. Be decisive. No? Yes? What's it? This one? Okay. And focus on success. That's a different combination than I would have anticipated. Okay. Okay. Now, all Oracle decks come with a book, and they have meanings and the intentions of the author. And sometimes I use those directly. I do not feel compelled to do that right now. So if you work with the Energy Oracle deck or the Divine Energy Oracle deck and you're like, that's not what that means. Well, that's what it means in this reading right now, because this is what I'm sensing. Reach for the stars, the heavens, the heavenly things. I feel like Spirit wants you to know that you are so bogged down in the earthly things that if you will reach for the stars, that you will find a hand coming down to help you. You will find blessings being rained upon you, that if you look up at the stars and you realize how big this world is and how small and insignificant each of us appear to be, but we are not. Everybody here has a purpose. Everybody contributes to the collective. But I think that, you know, what I'm seeing is, you know, somebody looking up at the stars and seeing all of those millions of little dots of light, and realizing, you know, we're a part of that. We are a part of that. We are stardust. We are made of stardust. It's a scientific fact. We are more stardust than we are the elements that create the earth. And I think that Spirit wants you to remember that. I'm even hearing some of you are a starseed. And starseeds can have it a little rough here on this planet, in this human experience. And just remember that you're not here to do the daily grind. You're not here to just accomplish and produce. Like, remember where you come from. Remember what you are. You are a divinely magical creature. And it's time to let go of all of these unnecessary, not unnecessary, but these things Stop making mountains out of molehills. You know? I'm trying to be all spiritual and stuff, and then Spirit's just like, stop making mountains out of molehills. Okay, that works. Making it bigger than it is, it's not going to help us. Be decisive. Yes, be decisive. You know, get out of that, you know, when we were talking about this in the beginning, that racing mind. Stop. You're going to drive yourself mad. Quiet that mind. Do something that, you know, helps you to relax, breathe, and then decide, okay, this is what I'm going to deal with now. This is what I'm going to deal with next. This is the plan. But all of this scattered energy, putting a little bit here and there and there and there and there and there, it's emptying you. You need to make a decision about what you want your life to look like. You need to make a decision about who you want to be. What kind of life you want to live. Do you want to live a life of fear, or do you want to live a life of freedom? And lastly, focus on success. Now, success means different things to different people. For some people, that means money. For some people, that means family. For some people, that means having the fanciest car. For others, it means the evolution of your soul or your spirit, the awakening of your subconscious and your connection with your creator. I'm hearing, okay, so I'm hearing that the thing here is the focus. And if you are watching this at the time that I'm posting it, we are going to have a new moon in Virgo on September 6th, 2021. That is an excellent time to set your intentions, to focus on what really matters to you. So when you're done running and you're ready to sit down, you know, think about your higher purpose. Decide what kind of life you want to live. And then make it happen. Focus on your success, not your failures. You know, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. You got this. Okay? Deep breath, pile 2. You're making me nervous. Stop it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. That's all I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much. I know this was long. I hope it was helpful. I'd love to hear if that resonates with you. As they say in the YouTube world, if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell for the notifications so that you will know when I do post other things, which I'm hoping to do more often in the future. And thank you again. I wish you the best. Until next time, bye-bye. Hello, pile 3. You have picked the Fox and the Amethyst. And we are going to see what your guides need you to know right now, the messages that they have for you, for your highest good at this time. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across this, it is still relevant and still available to you. And I'm going to go straight to what the book says. Of course, this is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And let's take a look at the Fox. So, we have smart, strong partner or mate, wise teacher. The fox is an enchanting creature with plenty of mystique to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and also make great teachers. They are quick to learn and adapt well to new situations. Foxes are ideal life partners as they commit to relationships for the long term, and their natural charisma keeps things exciting. Fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. Foxes don't do well when they slip away. When in balance, magical, ingenious teacher, monogamous. When out of balance, sneaky, unsure of their identity. And to bring to balance, partnership, connection. All right. So, let me just tap in to the energy of this card and see what messages Spirit has for you. I apologize if you hear me scratching. I stepped outside for a moment and mosquitoes got me. It's no fun. Okay, sorry. All right. Spirit, what is your message for pile 3? What do their guides want them to know right now? Huh. Okay. All right. So, for some of you are in balance and some of you are out of balance. And I heard in my mind just as loud as could be, why are you doing this? Okay. So I feel like this is probably a message more so for those that are out of balance. I'm getting the sense, pile 3, that you may be working against yourself. Like, okay, so like we just read, by nature and kind of like by default, the fox is a very monogamous, faithful, loving energy. With the why are you doing this and the feeling that I think that some of you, I honestly don't know how to articulate what I'm feeling other than to just say it. So here we go. Some of you are considering or have already stepped outside of your relationship. Now, that being said, I'm not judging, and neither is Spirit. There is no right, there is no wrong. Things just are what they are. However, some things are beneficial and some things are harmful. And I feel like the message for you, pile 3, even if this isn't a situation of infidelity, it's almost like if you're not a person that has stepped outside of their relationship, pile number 3, the rest of you it's almost like you're cheating on yourself. It's this feeling of not being true to yourself, of allowing outside influences to dictate who you love, how you love, what you stand for. I'm hearing some folks in this pile might be polyamorous, and that's fine. So it's nobody's business. There's nothing wrong with it. Or considering a polyamorous relationship and you're like not allowing yourself to go there because that fox energy in you is so tied to the idea of monogamy. Like there's 2 people and that's it. Okay. So like I said, there's pile 3 is a mixed bag. The energy it's similar, but there are definitely going to be things that resonate with some of you and not with others. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So what is the overall? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so the overall message, of course, here is about being true to yourself. It is about walking in your authenticity, knowing that you are loving and you are capable of commitment, and you are at your happiest when you are surrounded by those that you love and when you are able to show those around you how much you love them, whatever that looks like. And that can be all kinds of things. People live all kinds of different lives, and that's awesome. We love it. Do what's right for you. But the overall feeling is that it's almost like I just keep hearing you've stepped out. You've stepped out. You've stepped out. What did they step out of, Spirit? Their authenticity. Okay. So yeah. Pile 3, whatever it is, whatever the situation is, Spirit wants to encourage you to step back and reassess the situation, because what you are participating in or thinking about participating in goes against your very nature. So life throws us curveballs. Things happen. We end up with, it's hard to control our feelings, especially feelings that in our heart. It's like, oh, the heart wants what it wants. And sometimes that doesn't make any sense. I could literally write a book about how that doesn't make sense in my own life. So I understand that sometimes we are attracted to people and situations, and we can't even really understand why. But Spirit wants to remind you that that is not who you are. That is not you. You may receive a temporary pleasure. You may be more palatable and more acceptable to those around you, but it's not going to bring you true happiness, because that's not the way you're built. And you're built that way for a reason, because this world needs people that want to love, that love to love, that give love and receive love freely. There is definitely a lack of that in this world right now, and it would make sense for Spirit to want to reach out to you and say, hey, no, I see you looking. I see you thinking about it. I know you feel conflicted. I know you're thinking about doing it anyway. Been there, done that. But your guides are there with you. So, that little tug that you feel at your heart, or that small voice inside your brain, that is your guides trying to help you make this decision. Now, if you've already done something, hey, what's done's done, But it doesn't mean we can stray far from the path, and Spirit will guide us right back. When we come back willingly, it happens a lot less painfully. Just an FYI. When we fight it, when we try to resist doing what our, what we were born to do, or what our life's purpose is, when we resist coming back to the path after our little detours and bunny trails, yeah, that can be a painful process. Because remember, Spirit is always going to allow things, or put things in your path that are going to lead you back to your purpose. And I heard somebody say, I can't remember who it was. I wish I could, so I could give them credit. But they were like, when you go to the bowling alley and you've got your kids with you, or little people with you that want to bowl, and you don't want them to feel bad for like all the gutters, right? So they put up these bumpers, and so they roll the ball. And what does that ball do? It'll veer to the side, and boom, it'll go back the other way, and then boom, and then it'll go back. It's like to get you on the path, just go straight, And so I feel like that's a little something that's going on with you, pile 3, is that, Spirit is saying, hey, get back on the path. What are you thinking? No, you're doing great. You are exactly where you need to be and who you need to be for this moment in time for your greatest purpose. So stop resisting and get back on the path, and do not throw away all the things that are so precious to you for a temporary moment of pleasure. Okay? All right, so let's take a look and see what's going on. I asked Spirit to talk about what it is that they want to, or, tell me what's the situation or the energy that you want to discuss. The situation or the energy that you want to discuss. What's the advice and possible outcome? So, and as I state in the other piles, I shuffle beforehand. I promise I do it correctly and all that stuff. I know a lot of people like to see the shuffling on camera. I'm too long-winded. The shuffling can take long. It's a lot to upload. Please forgive me, bear with me. I pre-shuffle, but I promise you the reading comes intuitively as I flip them over, depending on the energy at the time of the reading. That being said, let's take a look at what they want to talk about. They want to talk about justice. Oh, and in this deck, you've got your Libra energy up here, and Libra is also a sign that is much more content in a relationship than out of one. So maybe that resonates with some of you. And justice, it could be legal matters. It could be just about balancing the scales, making things even and fair again. So pile 3, some of you, I think that some of you may have already stepped outside, and this has caused you to have some problems. Possibly some of you are heading for separation with your current partner, and you know, Spirit wants you to know that they recognize that this is what's happening or getting ready to happen, or giving you forewarning that if you do go against what feels right to you, that you may find yourself in a situation where you have to defend yourself, a legal situation, or a situation where someone is unfairly treated because of your actions. They want you to know there is no right or wrong. You will not be judged. You will always be loved and supported. But actions have consequences. It's a universal law. So before you end up in this justice energy, Spirit wanted to talk to you and give you an opportunity to correct your course. So in the advice, we've got the Moon, and we've got the 6 of Swords in reverse. And I'm going to flip the 6 of Swords over just to see what the upright image looks like. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this Moon first. So the Moon illuminates the darkness. And what I heard was things done in the dark always come to the light. The Moon can also represent secrets and shadows. And I think it's wild that this particular deck you've got, this particular deck you've got, the fox up here, and then you've got the wolf, and the dog looks like a German Shepherd. And it's like this wild animal and this similar yet different domesticated creature. There are so many similarities between a wolf and a German Shepherd. Chances are, under the right circumstances, the German Shepherd can be loyal and friendly. And, that breed is used as a service animal and in law enforcement. They're very smart, but they're also very loving and devoted to their family, their human family, their animal family, whatever. Whereas the wolf is wild and unpredictable, and even though there's always this attraction to danger. Sorry for shaking the camera. There's always an attraction to danger as humans. There's something about the possibility of getting caught or getting hurt or whatever gives us that rush. You know what I mean? The German Shepherd is not nearly as exciting, and it's domesticated, and it does what it's told. But it brings so much to people's lives and contributes so much good to the world. Whereas the wolf is really self-serving. Not in the sense of like the pack, There's always, if you know anything about canines, it's, the hierarchy and I'm not talking about that. Spirit's not talking about that. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. There's a lot of information coming through right now. I literally just want to reach through and just shake you, pile 3, and be like, what are you doing? Come on. What are you doing? You're the German. You like being the German Shepherd. Why are you so, what's happening in your life that's got you trying to act like this wolf that, could rip somebody's throat out instead of just giving them sweet kisses? Even my cat agrees. You hear that? Baby kitty said, no, don't do it. You see? Sorry. So, yeah. And then, again, in this particular deck, you've got what looks like a portal. With these creatures of the night coming through. And you're just going to have to ignore him because he's mad he can't come in. And I feel like Spirit is saying, look, you can choose which door to go through. One door is going to lead you to this wild animalistic satisfaction that's dangerous and could put you in a funky situation. Or you can go through the other, which is the sweet, caring, loyal, devoted German Shepherd. And that door is going to keep you from having to walk away from everything that you thought you wanted. Or it's going to, again, gosh, I know listening to this has to be frustrating, and I do apologize. I'm going to try and get it together. This Six of Wands energy is typically moving away from something that no longer serves us, ideas that no longer need to come to fruition. Whereas in reverse, it's saying, don't move away from what you know is right. Don't move away from you had these ideas when you were coming up of what you wanted your life to look like, and you have the opportunity to do that. But your secrets can put you in a place where you don't have a choice but to leave. You could lose everything. And I know that sounds dramatic, and I don't usually read like this. This energy is different for me, which is probably why I'm stumbling all over the place. But understand, pile 3, even if this isn't a situation of infidelity, again, this could just be talking about you and being authentic and being committed and faithful to yourself and your own ideals, and doing, what you love. And, so what if it's boring, or so what if it's not considered, exotic? Who cares? It makes you happy. Live your life. Stop caring about what everybody else thinks, and stop chasing the adrenaline rush. Stop chasing the excitement. There's a lot to be said for stability. There's a lot to be said for security and knowing who you are, and knowing that the people around you love you and care about you, and that you have a place to fall if you need to. And either stepping outside of an existing relationship or stepping outside of the relationship with yourself, there is always the possibility that you don't get to come back from that. And I think that's what this Six of Swords energy is trying to, in reverse, is trying to tell us. You're not going to have a choice whether you walk away or not. That choice will be made for you. And that's going to be a very sad day. So, possible outcome from all of this, if you listen to the advice of your guides, Two of Cups is usually, a lot of times it's like a relationship card, especially, with these swans here and the clinking of the glasses, the coming together. That's the ultimate goal, right? To find that fulfilling, loving relationship with someone or multiple people. Because again, in this cup, we see a lot, there's 4 people here with the 2 cups. But yeah, I think what Spirit is saying by placing or by revealing this card in reverse is that your actions are going to block this, whether it's the potential for something like I said, some of you may just be like contemplating, like you're in okay, I hear that. So some of you may be just starting a relationship with somebody or considering a relationship with somebody. But there's all these other, you know, wolves out there. You want to be a wolf. You don't want to be a domesticated German Shepherd, because then your boys or your girls or your friends are going to be like, oh man, you're whipped. You're no fun anymore. You used to be so wild. Yeah, well, you know, trying to do right by people now. Trying to be different. Trying to create balance and harmony in my life. Oh, shoot. Okay. So, I think I've beat that into the ground. Be faithful to yourself above all else. You do what you feel is right for you, what fits your personality, what fits your desires. And don't worry about what other people are going to say about it, because they don't have to live your life. And quit being so sensitive to what other people think. You know, being a German Shepherd's a good thing. People love German Shepherds. I mean, if they like dogs. If they don't like dogs, then that's probably pretty scary. Because, yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, just because the German Shepherd is domesticated doesn't make it any less canine. You know, it's still tough. You ever seen those videos where they're training them to attack people? No, I wouldn't mess with a German Shepherd. So, you know, you don't have to be a badass on the outside to be able to hold your own and for people to respect you. I'm just shuffling these oracles a little bit more. I just felt like they weren't really ready to go, but I think they are now. Spirit, can we get 3 cards for just some advice for pile 3? Okay. Boom. Be decisive. Make a decision. And I just heard, should I stay or should I go? You know that song? All right. Reassess. Yep. Confirmation. Look at what you're doing. Is this really what you want to do? Is it worth it? Make no judgments. Absolutely. I've probably said that a couple of times now. Spirit's not judging you. I'm not judging you. You'll end up judging yourself. And the loved ones or the people around you that could potentially be harmed, they'll definitely judge you, at least for a while. And don't judge yourself too harshly. We all have thoughts and feelings that just come out of nowhere sometimes, but I think that we have them so that Spirit can kind of let us flex that muscle that we gained during a lesson of some sort. Like, okay, you went to take a cookie out the cookie jar last time and you got your fingers, you know, smacked. I'm going to walk away from the cookie jar and I'm going to leave it out for you. Are you going to try and take another cookie, or did you learn your lesson? So don't judge yourself too harshly. But I will encourage you, and Spirit encourages you, do the right thing. Be who you are. Stay faithful. Stay loyal. And don't let anybody tell you who you're supposed to be. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being the German Shepherd. Okay, pile 3, thank you so much. I really appreciate you hanging in there with me, and I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that this situation works itself out for you. And I would love to know in the comments if it resonated with you. And as they say in the world of the YouTube, if you like this video, please click the like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell for the notifications. And until next time, bye.